Hi guys, it's Ashley at Hair Ventures and welcome back to my channel. I am going to get right into it. The truth about locks and what you need to know. Now, locks has came up and been the most trendy go-to protective style recently. Okay, people had locks for so many years, but it wasn't always a go-to style, and you didn't see a lot of people wearing locks. But now everywhere I turn and I look, someone has locks, and they actually look very, very nice. Now, a lot of people that I know, as being a stylist over 24 years, they go to locks because they don't like their hair texture. They really don't want to, sit for long or, get in their hairstyle so often. And they feel like going to locks is a more convenient way for them to always have their hairstyle. And so that they don't have to find a way to look and feel free. Okay, so locks are very, very beautiful in my opinion. I thought about getting locks, like the sister locks. I really am a great fan of those. It's a great versatile protective style. It has like a real deep cultural roots to it. If you're looking to start your lock journey, do some heavy research on it, because again, it's really deep, from where it originated from and where it came from and how it started. And then also there are so many ways and forms of locks that you can get, and you need to know your hair type and texture to get the right lock for your hair type. And so I'm going to dive into that, and I'm going to go through each of them so you can have an idea of what fits best for you. So locks, how do they form? Locks form when hair strands naturally intertwine and mat over time, right? This can happen through various methods, okay? Some people want to do the two-strand twist method, right? You could do two-strand twists all over your hair, and you can encourage locking after a while. So some people start off with the two-strand twist, and then later on they can start doing the palm rolling, which is another way of creating and installing locks, right? Rolling sections between your fingers together to maintain the shape and to create the lock, right? They also have interlocking, which is using a tool to weave the hair together at the root. This type of form is more so for sister locks. I was trying to think of it. Sister locks, the little small skinny locks, it's kind of hard to roll those, so they use a interlocking hair tool to create those sister locks, okay? And they are super cute. They still give you a natural texture. They are so small that you can still kind of wear other styles with them, and that's why if I did get locks, that would have been my go-to. Okay, did I leave something out? Freeform, you just let your hair naturally lock on its own. If you ever seen people with a big mat or big lock and just looking weird, they just kind of let that happen. There was no real technique to it. They just like, here we go. We just gonna go ahead and let this form. So do locks require maintenance, right? Yes, they require maintenance. When I see most of these people with locks, beautiful locks, and they got so much growth, and it's just like, in my opinion, if you're going to get a style like that, right, I think you should still be up to the upkeep. That's why it's important to research your style of choice that you're going to get, any type of protective style, because those styles tend to be in your hair for long periods of time. And so if you're going to get a style, you want to make the best of it, the most of it, and make sure it's convenient for you. I remember my mom, she wanted some locks, right? Because she thought it would be simple. She don't really like sitting to get her hair done. She thought once she put them in there, she wouldn't have to get it done too much and she'll be fine. Now that's true. They say it's like getting a relaxer back in the day when we used to do those. Every 6 to 8 weeks, you should be getting a touch-up. Some people go 3 to 6 months, and I think that's a little exaggerative, but most of the time it comes from how fast your hair grows, right? How fast does that new growth come in will determine the time that you need to get your touch-up, whether it be 6 to 8 weeks or 3 to 6 months. And so I know, because locks is such a great protective style and your hair is really protected and there's like really little to no manipulation happening, the hair tends to grow a little faster. So while people think that's a style that they can get and kind of just sit back and don't touch their hair, in my opinion, I think it's like a mid-maintenance. I want to say high or low, but a mid-maintenance hairstyle where you definitely need to be keeping up with retwisting that root, so it can always look beautiful and flawless. But if you are not one that really want to be having to sit down and go through that process of retouching your locks, you should opt in for maybe the sister locks, because since it still give a natural look, even when it's old, it doesn't really look bad. So you don't have to sit and get them retwisted so often. So maintenance for locks, that's just one area of maintenance. You definitely need to have regular washing, because they can get buildup because of the nature of the style. And you know, we stay away from buildup, because buildup on our scalp and our hair slows down our growth, creates breakage, hair loss, hair fall, bald spots, and things of that nature. We don't want any of it. Moisturizing to prevent dryness and breakage, right? We still always want to moisturize our, even if you're not going to go get your hair touched up as often as you should, please take care of it on your own by moisturizing it, right? To prevent dryness and breakage. So find some great products. We have so many to choose from. Read those labels and see which works best for you, so that you can do your own maintenance in between going to getting it retouched or retwisted. Retwisting or interlocking is what I was talking about a little earlier, if needed, to maintain the neatness, make sure that the locks are well put together. I don't know if you guys ever seen, but the locks can separate, they can become damaged, they can break off, they can create bald spots or thinning hair at the root if you are not taking care of them properly. So if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know much about locks, but you're considering them, hopefully this video has given you a new thought process on getting locks, and just really give you the knowledge that you need before you make that commitment. Okay. Are locks a protective style? I think locks are, yes, a really great protective style. Absolutely. Locks protect your natural hair by a multitude of ways, right? By reducing daily manipulation, as I mentioned earlier, right? You don't have to be in your hair all the time once you have locks, because your hair is already away and protected in that style. It helps to retain moisture, because again, as I mentioned, I feel like having locks or twists or something like that, your hair grows faster, because when you do the pre-poo or when you take care of it properly using the right products and you put the moisture and hydration in it, it's locked in. So your hair will stay moisturized and hydrated as long as you did the process correctly, because of the nature of the style. When the hair is tucked away, when the hair is twisted together or locked, it keeps in that moisture, okay? Hopefully my little hand gestures help you understand what I was talking about. And when locks lock in that moisture, it also promotes lymph retention. That's why you see people with locks and their locks are so long. I be looking like, look at that hang time. You see them one day or 1 month, and then 3 months later, you know, they're coming from here to here to here. It grows so quickly because locks are intertwined and they lock in the moisture and everything your hair needs to grow, as long as you continue to take care of it the proper way. Do locks damage hair? Locks themselves don't damage hair, but improper care can lead to issues like thinning edges or breakage. So you want to avoid excessive tension, over manipulation, and product buildup. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, if you are constant, some people do the touch up so frequently and they have thin hair already. So imagine doing a palm roll over and over again, twisting at the root. That's manipulation, and that's kind of rough, right? Or even an interlocking too fast too soon can cause a thinning, a breakage. And so you just don't want to over manipulate them. You want to get on the schedule, stick to the schedule, and just properly take care of your locks, so they won't mess up themselves as long as you are taking care of it in the right way. Can you remove locks? Now, this is funny. I used to think you couldn't. I used to love locks, and then I used to just really think that you couldn't even take them out. So I ran from them. I was like, oh, I would love to get them, but I love to do, you know, when I had so much long hair, protective styles is what I've always done. And so I used to try and do so many different protective styles. I'm like, if I get locks, I'm going to limit my creativity of doing these fun looking protective styles, right? So I'm not getting it. I didn't think you could take it out without cutting your hair all the way off. This was way back when I loved my hair. I would have never done this how many years ago. And so I was like, I'm not getting no locks if it's going to sit there and take my, I got to cut my hair all the way off just for the locks to come out. But I've come to find out that you can take them out, okay? You can take them out. And I know just like me, many people believe that you could not take them out and locks are permanent, but they are not. You can take them out, but you have to have patience. I've seen people saturate them with conditioner and water to help with the detangling. And it's like, you got to get the right comb and, combing out and that kind of stuff. Softer textures can unravel easier than thicker textures, of course. And so if that is something you are wondering, yes, you can comb out your locks, okay? But some people like to just cut it all off and just have a fresh start. It is easier. It's not time consuming. You just cut it off and boom, hair always grows, okay? So the lock journey is unique to everyone, right? So, one person lock journey is going to differ from another person's lock journey. Whatever locks that is chosen, as I mentioned, we just got the traditional locks. We got the 2-strand twist locks, the sister locks. They had a whole bunch of different locks, gypsy locks, all these locks. The journey, of course, is going to be different. The maintenance is going to be different. And everyone, whatever method you choose, you want to make sure you choose one that fits your lifestyle. And you got to be patient. No other way to say it. You have to be patient with the process so your hair can thank you. If you never had it before, of course, it's a new thing. It's definitely going to take some getting used to. And so, again, that's why I mentioned earlier, the preparation is key. The research is key. So you can know through knowledge and preparing yourself for what's to come. So you can know how to take care of it, how you're going to look with it, how you're going to style it, and those type of things so that you can still feel, be, and look your best self, okay? If you have any more questions about locks, why don't you leave it in the comment box below so we can continue this dialogue and I can help you guys get those questions answered. Again, if you want to know about the products that I have, which is also great for locks and all protective styles, I will also leave that in the description box below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share. You never know who this video can bless or who was looking for this lock information like you were. So let's do a quick recap. How do locks form? Locks form through various methods. I mentioned freeform, twist and rip, interlocking, palm rolling, okay? There are so many ways to help form your locks. 2-strand twist, regular palm roll, okay? Do locks require maintenance? Absolutely. You need to be taking care of your locks, right? Regular washing, moisturizing, retwisting, or interlocking, getting those appointments in to keep up your locks healthy and fresh. Yes. Are locks a protective style? Of course they're a protective style, right? They help to reduce daily manipulation, retain moisture, and they promote length retention, okay? Do locks damage hair? Not the locks itself, but improper care can cause the locks to become damaged and the hair to thin and possibly fall out and break. So you want to have great maintenance with your locks. Can you remove locks? Absolutely. You can have patience by combing them out with deep condition and some water, or you don't have to have patience and you just cut it all out and start all over fresh because what? Hair grows anyway. So I wanted to give a recap about the things that we learned in this video regarding locks. And if you are thinking about it, then you go ahead and you can make your decision because this was great information that I have left and did in this video for you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you in the next video.